Hello. Let me. Oh, now that's very dark, isn't it? Is that no good? I want it to be in the shade. I want it to be in the shade, but you need to be able to see me. I might even have gone live early, just for a change. Let me have a look at this. Oh, before we start, tradition, folks. Gotta have your traditions. Tina girl, come say hello to the peoples. Hey, babe. This way. Come on. Say hello to the peoples. There she is. There's my girl. There's nobody here. I am early. But we'll have a little time looking at Tina girl. Okay, she's sitting down, laying down. Back to me. I managed to get the orientation to work this week. You'll notice. Hello, hello. Just saying, I think I managed to get the orientation working correctly this week. Or at least so it appears to me at the minute. Who knows? Okay, just give it another minute. Waiting for people to come on in. Oh, I need 3 arms. Arms? I need 3 arms. I'm going to show you my Tina girl again. If you weren't here when I showed her to begin with. There's my girl. Hey, babe. Yeah. Hey. Oh, don't do scratching in public. Turn the camera back around. It's not taking my click. Oh, don't do this, phone. Oh, phone, don't do this. Here we go. I'm probably in silhouette from the looks of things, certainly on my screen. My camera doesn't like me. See whether anybody said anything in chat. Oh, fingers in the way. Nobody's talking in chat. Okay, folks. I'll give it another minute. Cheers to the subscribers. 1,050 of you. It only seems like last week we were coming from... Tina girl, quiet, quiet. Tina, leave the lady alone. Leave the lady alone. Hola, buenas. Tina girl, cámate. I saw Jasper there asking if you can see the beach. Not right now, mate. It's kind of 100 meters that way. It's not so much a beach as a bunch of rocks. Well, at this side, see this road? There's a bay to the right, and the cliffs and rock pools to the bottom there. To the other side, it's a stony beach. It's all stones. There's no actual sand. Technically, no beach in Torrevieja is real. They shipped them in once upon a time, and now they just bring bulldozers and shuffle the sand around. Hello there, Scruff Dog. I saw you, my friend. I saw you. Welcome. Okay, I'm off to a slow start, but at least the orientation's right this week. I didn't have to mess with it. I don't know whether YouTube changed something their end. I don't know if I got something wrong somehow last week and the week before and the week before. It's been a pain in the ass for as long as I can kind of remember. 3, 4, 5 weeks. Ever since they changed it. It was bad enough when it was a hidden setting under advanced and you had to change it from portrait to landscape. And then they changed it and it just became unfathomable to me. Okay, folks. This is episode 39 of TrampCast. It's Sunday, August the 4th, 2024. The channel is Delta Mike, that's me. Down and out in Torrevieja, down and out. A tramp, a hobo, a vagrant, an indigent person, a person of no fixed abode, A bum. That's a recently added one. I didn't usually have that one. Someone who sleeps rough on the streets, or in my case, in a field. Thumbs up if you haven't already, folks. Thank you. Appreciate it. It does help get the message out there. At the minute, I've got a video running wild a little bit. By my standards, you know. By my standards. Did a cookery video, oh, when was it? I filmed it on Wednesday, released it on Friday, and it went very slowly. And then suddenly, around 9 o'clock this morning, my time, it started going out at like 50 views per hour. And suddenly I start getting a whole bunch of new subscribers. And then just as I decide to announce that I've hit 1,050, we kind of lost one. But fortunately I waited until we had 1,051 because I'm ready for this shit nowadays. I know how it goes. Okay folks, as I say, thumbs up helps if you can, if you're enjoying it. I don't know why you would be. Subscribe if you haven't already. At least consider it, and maybe tell a friend. Share the good news. Share the gospel of Delta Mike. You are my disciples, all 1,050 of you. Okay, maybe I shouldn't be so irreverent on a Sunday. Share live. Okay. You guys who are here right now, you're fine. But anyone who's not here at 6 minutes and 43 seconds past the hour, or thereabouts, oh, I started early. But anyone who joins late, bottom left corner, you're looking for the word live and the red dot. If you don't see a red dot, touch the word live. At the end of the stream, it will go private. You might get cut off if you're behind, if you're not fully up to date, if you're not current. Give me a few seconds, I go in, flick a few switches, set a few settings, and 30 seconds, 60 seconds later, we are back up and running. Refresh and carry on. Okay, folks, where do we begin? I think I kind of done the announcement that I was going to do already. We hit 1,050. If you remember last week, just before last weekend, I was on 985. And a bloke called Tjis gave me a shout out to his 60,000 subscribers. Might be 70,000. I'm a little bit lost on the numbers. But his channel, very nearly interesting. He gave me the shout out, and in came a whole batch of people, probably about 50 or 60 from that. And obviously I will have picked up a few elsewhere along the way, maybe. Not always. Some weeks I have a net loss of subscribers. But again, cheers to the subscribers, to the lot of you. Oh, my beer's warm. It's actually hot, not just warm. Okay, folks, that's my announcement. So, episode 39 of TrampCast. As you know, we do a little numbers section, a few facts about the number of the episode. The episode's 39, so facts about the number 39. The number 39 is a semi-prime. It is the product of two prime numbers, in this case 3 and 13. It's also the sum of 5 consecutive primes, 3, 5, 7, 11 and 13. Add them together and they will total 39. In literature and movies as well, I guess, 39 Steps, the John Buchan, I guess you pronounce it. I was going to say Buchanan, but it's not, it's Buchan. John Buchan novel turned into a number of films, but the most prominent one is probably the Hitchcock version. Also 39 signatories of the US Constitution, originally, apparently. There's always one, almost always one for the telephone codes. The International Direct Dialing Code 39 will get you Italy. Okay, folks, and finally, for the number 39, the atomic number 39 will get you yttrium. I think it's pronounced yttrium rather than yttrium, but hey, it's a Swedish word originally. So the element, which is a silvery metallic element, never found in a pure as a pure element. Never. It's always found in combination with other in compounds with other elements. Originally, it was discovered in a mineral called ytterbite, which was named after a town in Sweden, or a village, perhaps, Ytterby. Um, so the village of Ytterby, there was a mineral found nearby which was called ytterbite, and yttrium was found to be one of the constituent elements therein. What else do we know about it? It's considered, and it's kind of controversial, it's considered to be a rare earth element, but some definitions of rare earth element would actually exclude it, but other features of it match certain definitions, so isn't it? Generally, it is considered to be one, although it falls outside some definitions. Its most important use currently is in LEDs. Previously, it was a major part of the red dot on cathode ray tubes. It wasn't the phosphor on the surface of the red dot, but it was the thing behind the phosphor that captured the energy from the electron gun and then passed it to the phosphor in the most efficient manner for the red dots. Its other uses, it's used in electrodes, lasers, and superconductors. Human exposure, it is considered dangerous. It causes lung disease if you're exposed directly. Okay, folks, this is TrampCast episode number 39, and those were the facts about the number 39. Okay, I think Tina's probably going to bark some more at the people walking past. Just give us a second. Wave at the peoples. Hola, buenas. Hola. Hey. Okay. Okay, so we've done the numbers. Next is the thank yous. Got to make sure I get this right. Try and do these in the right order because I didn't write them down in the proper order. So the thank yous for the past week. Now, I'll start with PayPal actually. So my friend, she's been a follower on the channel, not so much his live streams, I think she considers them a little bit too long. But the lady who goes by so many names, Bella, Belinda, Binny, and she also has some other channel names that are not as directly related to her own name. But my friend Bella, or Belinda, she sent me some money on PayPal this week, so thank you, Belinda. And this morning, I got a message from a lady, Jodie M, sent me some money via PayPal. So thank you to Jodie M this morning on PayPal. Now, last weekend, if you were here, if you watched the stream last weekend, you will have seen. I couldn't because darkness and the way this bloody phone doesn't work too well. I couldn't read the messages, and especially I had that black overlay over the screen about orientation being locked, which I still don't understand. But someone was messaging me trying to tell me they were going to come. I was saying how I'd run out of cash. I had money in PayPal, but I didn't have liquidity. I didn't have cash in hand. And my friend Aaron, sorry, I'm going to pronounce it. It's spelled Aaron, A-A-R-O-N, but he pronounces it with more of an E sound. Aaron. Not Aaron, not Aaron, but more of an Aaron, as far as I can hear it. Aaron and Jodie. Aaron came down and he said he was going to come down and bring me some money. He messaged in the chat. He sent me a text during the live stream, and then he He came down about half an hour or an hour after. I think he got stuck in traffic a little bit. Um, he's not exactly close by. I mean, it was a half-hour drive for him with traffic, half hour here and back. But he brought me cash in hand, and I said when I got the PayPal I'd pay him back, and he said don't worry about it. He said to forgive it, to let it go. Thank you very much, Aaron and Jody. Also, for the 14 beers, he brought a 12-pack and also 2 cold ones. The cold ones are always appreciated. Always appreciate the ice cold ones. I'm living in a fucking field. Inside that tent, it's been 45 degrees and above today, and that's ground level. That's on my bed on the ground, mattress on the ground. Bloody hot in there. Bloody hot. It's a battle for survival. Hence, I've got this. I do apologise. It's a little bit uncouth, folks. But otherwise, I've just got sweat running down into my eyes, and I won't be able to see anything. Salt water in your eyes doesn't help anything. Aaron also brought a few bits and pieces. There was some eggs and some garlic and a few other little bits in a shopping bag. Much appreciated. Much appreciated, the pair of you. Make sure that's the right rag. Yeah, no, this is the one that I normally bathe with. This is the one that I wash with. Obviously, no showers in the middle of a field, but stand-up wash. I believe it's sometimes called a Russian shower, sometimes more derogatory names to do with ladies of the night. But yeah, that's my cloth that goes with soap and water and washes me down every day or 3, depending how much water I've got, which we'll get to shortly. Also this week, while we're still on the thank yous, yucca! If you've seen my cookery video, the spaghetti bolognese or pasta bolognese one, as I said, filmed on Wednesday, released first thing Friday morning. Didn't do well to begin with, but it's taken off since. But halfway through the day, I'm in the middle of cooking, and Yucca and his wife turn up, and he brings me a couple of bags of ice. He brings me 4 beers, and he gives me a €20 note as well. See, this was the thing. I got the 20 from Aaron, and the first time you go to the shop, when you've been low on money for a while, the first time you go, you need a little bit extra. You've gone, a week without some things, so you spend a little bit over. So rather than going and doing like a €5 or €6 shop as I would normally at the beginning of the week, when I can at the beginning of the week, I've gone and I've splurged nearer to 11 or 12. So suddenly, from having 20 in your pocket, you're back down to 8, and you're worrying about the cash again. But along comes Yucca, and I tried to say no, but I'll be honest, I put up a pathetic defence, a pathetic effort. It's funny, folks, when you need money or when you're short of money, you follow the pleasantries, you try and say no. And sometimes I've genuinely got enough, and when I say no to people, I mean it. Like, no, I've got enough for now, I'm okay, thank you. And, if I've just managed to change €50 from PayPal into physical cash, and then someone offers me 5, 10, 20, I'll say no because I'm okay for a few weeks. But when you've just had 20 and then you spent some of it and you're back down to 8 or 9, you don't fight that much. You put on a show of fighting, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know whether I should even admit that publicly. But it's a kind of a needs must kind of thing. It's look at my situation. It's like especially with Tina not being able to walk much now. It's not like I can set off and walk around all the bins like I used to find the food that gets left next to the bins. she can't go so far at the minute, and it's starting to look like it might be a permanent thing. It's been a while now, so that's a worry. So we can't set off on that. The other way of surviving, rather than getting cash, is to get the food directly from that people leave hanging on the side of, or put down the side of bins, next to bins, or when it gets brought directly to me, which we haven't had for a little while. Yoka last week brought me a couple of tortilla wraps. But no, so Yoka brought me €20. He brought me the 4 beers, and he brought me some ice to help. See, this I said last week, this cooler box isn't quite what I thought it was going to be when I bought it. It's okay, but it's not a fridge. It doesn't. There's not a compressor. It doesn't cool in that way. So things don't last as long. So maybe a bag of ice at the beginning of a week, and that'll take us through to Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe into Thursday. It's going to be difficult through August. August in Spain, that's going to be tricky. I'll be glad when we hit September and October, and we lose the crazy heat. Get back to something more normal. Okay, so that was Yoka, and finally, just once again, I want to thank Tjis, the guy who gave my channel a shout out last week, and who drove me. I mean, we didn't just get through 1,000. We smashed through 1,000 and up where we are now to 1,050. So thank you, Tjis, once again. I know if you're here, Tjis, or if you do get to see this at some point, you'll be sick of me thanking you, because I've thanked you in about 20 different places now, in 20 different ways. But you deserve it, my friend. Oh, I'm glad that one's finished. Cheers, Scruff. It took a long time. I've done 400, something like 450 videos to get to 1,000 subscribers. And I'll be quite honest, for the first 500 or so subscribers, I did more. No, for the first, I don't know, 200 or 300, I was doing more videos than I was getting subscribers. I was running a fewer than 1 new subscriber per video. I had to grind it out to begin with. Tjis is great. He's a fantastic bloke. I've been following for a while, but I first contacted him. I first left a message on his channel when he did the video for the poem, If you can keep your head when all around are losing theirs, blah, 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 then you are a man, my son. That one. And I explained my situation to him. I told him how much that poem meant to me, and has done, for a long time. But I explained my situation and how watching his reading of it and his explanation of the poem kind of got me. And I think me telling him that got him. And almost every time he does a video now, as soon as I'm alerted about a video of his, I stop by and say hello. And yeah, he gave me the shout out. So thank you thank you for being here. Anyone who saw the shout out on Very Nearly Interesting by Tjis. Fantastic channel, the most superb, for a new channel, the most superb production values, editing, I'm going to say cinematography, but videography, I guess is the word. He's got everything. I mean, he was a video editor of some description before, I gather. So that explains his prowess. But it was good of him to give me a shout out to 60 or 70,000 followers. And I'm happy that 1 in 1,000 of them came over. Stage, hello, my friend. Hey. I always have to think twice. I have to think Lilo and Stitch, not Ren and Stimpy. I don't know why. I think I got that wrong first time, and it's haunted me ever since. Okay, folks, that was the thank yous for this episode 39 of TrampCast. Let's look at the themes of the week, and there aren't really that many. There's the ones that I have to just. I've just done the thank yous, but the main theme for the week has to be you guys and your generosity. I explained last week that I was running out of cash, not money. In theory, I've got PayPal funds. I got funds, but I haven't got anybody in country to convert those into currency. No, none of my contacts that are out here actually use PayPal. It's surprising how few Europeans do use PayPal, and there are whole countries out here don't even know what it is. I have to explain to them. The Scandinavians have got no clue, because early on, their banks all got together and made a proper system similar to PayPal for just transferring funds between banks. They just all got together and just can't remember what it's called, something like Flash or Zip, or it's a word that means fast. So they all use that. So they've got no, they PayPal just never entered the equation for any of them. And a lot of my friends over here, a lot of the people that I know over here, or that I knew over here, are, or that I meet now, are of a Scandinavian persuasion. Yeah, I know PayPal's so common in the US and Canada, I know. For a while over here, it looked like it was going to be adopted. It looked like you were going to be able to start using it in the supermarkets. Carrefour were the last time I had an apartment. I don't know that one. Don't know that one, Scruff. When I had an apartment over here, I used to order from Carrefour and pay with PayPal, because I was actually using the company's PayPal. I was kind of stuck a little bit because of COVID, and I broke the rules a little bit, and I'll probably be in trouble about that at some point. Although the company owed me thousands, but let's not, especially on an open channel where authorities can be watching. But I was ordering from Carrefour online, and I thought maybe we were going to get to the stage where you'd start being able to use PayPal in store. But, oh, Russell, there are so many stories to go at, my friend. Start with, look for TrampCast 001, episode 1 of this show. And then your next one after that is my first video. If you click on the name of the channel and go through to videos, and then click the button to reverse the order, so you're looking at the oldest first, and you want to see the one where I've got the long beard and I'm cooking chicken. It's like a chicken stew, but with no chicken. And then the video from the day after, where my tarp that was over some sticks, over some broom handles, and it got a hole in a little hole in the roof, about a meter by half a meter, just a little hole in the roof during a thunderstorm. Those are the first 3 to start with. You'll find your way from there. There is a playlist called something like Where to Begin or Catch Up. I don't even remember what I've called it. There is a playlist to help the newbies, to help you guys. So yeah, okay. Where am I? Generosity. Yeah. So when I said last week that I was running out of money, and Aaron came down, and you know, it took him half an hour stuck in traffic to get here, and he just handed me money, and I said I'd pay him back, and he just waved it away and said no need. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And everyone else that I just thanked, but the ones who came with cash in person, because that's what I needed. So Aaron and Yokka in particular this week, but all the rest of you, you know, everybody's generosity. Everything I've got here, guys, I started off in 10 days time, I will have been homeless 2 years. And in 6 days, I will have been in this field 2 months less than 2 years. So 22 months I will have been in this field. I arrived in this field with a bedroll a small tarpaulin. No, I didn't have the tarpaulin. I tell a lie. I had a bedroll, 2 picnic blankets that were waterproof on one side, but with holes in. Bottles of water and carrying one bag, one heavy hold-all, and then just bottles of water. So everything I've got here, I've built up either from scavenging next to bins, or from people bringing me and donating things to me. The ladies who got me this phone after the floods that ruined my phone previously. And then the YouTube channel, the donations and the help and the people who've come. My friend Karen has been absolutely amazing. I met her in the middle. If you watch TrampCast 001, look for when Delta Mike met Karen, because she really has been a turning point for me. Her husband subscribed to me. He was one of the first 30 or so subscribers, and then when I first went live, he told her to watch. And I was there with the long hair and the long scraggly beard. I was a mess. And she said, "Hey, I'm a hairdresser. I'll come and do your hair." And true to her word, she did a couple of days later. And she's just been fantastic ever since. Shout out to Karen. And family. Always the family. Hey, Christine. You got to make a note of that. 3140 or thereabouts. I'll have to tell Karen to tell Christine. That's her mum. Am I any closer to being able to get back to England? No. Ever since the government arrived, the man from the government came to help. Cheers, Scruff. Toot toot. Although it's a bit early, mate. You're probably not doing that just yet. What are you at there? 11:30 or 12:30? I'm not sure. I think you're 11:30 in the morning. No, I'm no closer to getting back home. I mean, there's the financing. There's the okay. Scruff's already on his way. Already on your way, or still there from last night? I got the financial things. I mean, to get out of the country, I've got a legal thing still hanging in the way. I got the finances to sort. Got to get me tickets, all that. But then there's Tina. I got to get Tina's injections up to date. Get to a vet, get her rabies and everything else. We're a year behind with that. Then I got to get a crate. We got to arrange whatever kind of probably overland travel for her in a van, in a crate in a van, which I don't like the idea of. But also, when I turn up at the airport, like I said, I've got to get this legal thing out of the way so I'm just not getting outright arrested. But even then, when I go to leave the country, they're going to say, "Who are you? How long you been here? Why is there no stamp in your passport?" Because as a Brit, I'm only allowed to be here so many days per year. And I've been here 8 years solid. I never did any of the paperwork from back in the day. Questions and answers, TrampCast 001. Yeah, I mean, I book a flight and I'll get yanked off the flight and held in a dark room until after the flight's gone while they question me about all this. Then they'll just release me. Then I've got to work out what to do about arranging the next flight, which will probably be a couple of days later, and and it all just cascades and spirals from there. Unless there's some way of contacting like the immigration or whatever they're called, and contacting them and then saying, "Can we sort this? Can we negotiate whatever the punishment's going to be, whatever the terms are, however long I'm banned from Spain or the Schengen area or you know, whatever the punishment's going to be, can we negotiate that in advance so that I don't get pulled off the plane at the time or prevented from boarding the plane at the time?" And I don't know if that's even a thing. I don't know if that... Can you guys see me, or am I just a silhouette? Because on my screen, I'm just a nasty silhouette. Now that might just be my screen, or it might be just the camera on the phone not being able to handle. Let me know. Am I visible or am I black silhouette? Somebody talk to me. Viewership's a bit low today, folks. I thought we would be in a... Oh, good. Okay, mate. Cheers, Scruff. I rely on Scruff. You're the one who told me last week that I wasn't sideways, because on my screen I was. You don't use the Facebook app, do you, on mobile for initiating streams? You're using OBS or StreamYards or whatever. Streamlabs, StreamYards, one of those. I'm having to cope with the vanilla, the YouTube app, because all I've got is a phone. I got a tablet, but you just can't see that at all. It's a very early Prism Live. Don't know what that is. Does that just give you your camera to your OBS? Is that for linking your or is that if you're just out and about on mobile full stop? I don't know what Prism is. Or maybe look into that. Okay, folks, shall we get on with this? I'm rabbiting. Okay, themes of the week, generosity. Yeah, thank you, everybody. I do mean that. Other themes for the week. Cheers. Water. My ongoing battle for water. Every 2 or 3 days I go and I get 4 bottles of water, and then one way or another me and the dog get through them. It's a battle to stay on top of enough water and to find a slot in the day where I can fetch the water when it's not crazy hot. I think I'm going to ask my friend Ismo. His car's here. I think I'm going to ask him to drive me down with all of my big water bottles at once and fill everything at once, if he will. Don't know if you're out there, Ismo, or maybe you'll see this later, but give me a shout, or I'll give you a shout, and I'm going to ask a favour. If you can drive me and the dog down to the foot wash where I can fill these water bottles all at once. Otherwise, August is going to be a battle. So water and as I said before, the heat. Inside the tent is crazy hot. It's hovering around 50 at head height when you first walk into the tent. That's Celsius, folks, 50 Celsius. I can't do the maths. I'm sure I've done it in the past. How does it go? Times by 1.8 in it, so that becomes 90. And add 32. 122? Is that right? That sounds like a lot. I feel like I've got something wrong there. That's crazy hot. And it's between 40 and 44, 45 at floor level where my bed is, where I'm spending most of my days just trying to keep out the heat. I come out here occasionally, put this brolly up, sit in the shade, but some days there's too much of a breeze, as you saw. Was it last week or the week before? I was struggling to hold on to the brolly, parasol, sombria, whatever word you want to use. I always pick the wrong word in the wrong situation with the wrong audience. I called it a what did I call it? I used the wrong word when I went to pick it up from the Chino Bazaar. I didn't call it sombria, which I called it a parasol, and the guy, he had no idea. Sounded like a Spanish word to me, but it's more French and whatever else, I guess. You can rely on me to pick the wrong word at the wrong time for the wrong audience. Okay, folks, those were the themes. Your generosity, I thank you all. I thank you, the viewers, the subscribers, the donators, whether that's via the PayPal or whether it's coming to the field here in person, bringing food, bringing cash, just coming and chatting. Come down, bring 2 cans of beer, you have one, I have one, and we just sit and chat for an hour. That's fine. That's fantastic. Breaks my day up, gives me something different, gives me people to meet. There were times in the past when I went a whole month without talking to people. Back, you got to remember those 4 months when I had no electronics, no lights, I had nothing. I had nothing working. Nothing. I didn't have a proper tent. I had sticks in the ground and a plastic sheet, and I would go off through the day and just sit for 6, 8, 10 hours on some kind of park benches on the top of cliffs. I'd check bins to find English newspapers, English language newspapers, or puzzle books. But then when it got dark at 6 in the evening, that was my day over because no light. There was no radio, there was no YouTube, there was no internet, there was no nothing. It was just, right, it's 6 o'clock, go to sleep. Wait until 8 in the morning for it to get light again. Buenas tardes. Tina, no. Hey, Tina. Hey. People walking past. Okay, folks, that was the themes for the week. We're coming up for 41 minutes in. Shall we begin the week as it was last Tina girl? Can I, for those of you that have come late or later, I'll try and if I can take the sponge off. There goes the brawling. Oh, she's going to go quiet now and go under the bush and sit. Let's see whether I can show you my girl. No, the phone's been in the sun that little bit and isn't taking the click. Bugger! I hate it when it does this. No, sorry guys. I'm going to have to put the parasol down a little bit more. If I can keep the phone in the shade as well as me, then we can think about getting the screen to take a click. Well, that wasted a minute trying to show you the doggy. Okay, folks, let's make a start on the week proper. That was the week that was. We start as we always do. This is TrampCast episode 39, and we start with Sunday, in the immediate aftermath of last week's TrampCast. For a month or so prior to that, I'd been staying outside after TrampCast finished. I'd been staying and just kind of unwinding in the cooling air as the sun goes down, as the sun gets low in the sky. But last week it's a little bit breezy, and I'd been holding onto the parasol for a while, and I just wasn't in the mood for sitting out anymore. So I just went inside. I just went in when we finished. Didn't stick around. I did my unwinding watching videos, and I watched TrampCast back fairly soon afterwards. Again, before the chat was post-processed and added to the thing, so I've still got to go back and do that. I've got to do the timestamps as well. But I started to watch TrampCast back, mainly because I like the sound of my own voice. Never have done until this last year or so, until I started doing YouTube. I always hated the sound of my own voice. That's always been a surprise. But this was where Aaron came down, and as I said, he'd messaged during the show, but I couldn't read the chat last week. Not only was the screen dull because brightness, but I had this dark overlay over the screen about orientation being locked, some such bogus crap. Thank you, YouTube. But Aaron came down and he brought me, like I said, he brought me 14 beers. He brought me a 12 pack that he picked up at the shop, and he brought me 2 cold ones. Cold ones always appreciated. Don't get me wrong, a pack of 12 beers is appreciated as well. They just had to go into the cool box for a while. But like I said, he also brought a few bits and pieces of food. There was some eggs and garlic and things in a bag. But much appreciated, very much appreciated. But that was basically the end of Sunday. Normal routine. I've got a dog to walk, things to take to the bins every couple of days. You know, the kind of thing. But that was it. Back to the tent. Lock the doors up. This week I haven't been locking the doors properly. I've only been putting the fly screens, the mosquito nets. So my doors are 2 layers. There's a mosquito net inner, and then there's a proper same material as the rest of the tent, on the outer But I've been leaving that tied back just to try and allow airflow at night. But having the mosquito nets fastened because flies, mosquitoes, and moths and things. Because at night, if I put a light on, which I sometimes do, I've tried to minimise it because I have got a hole in one mosquito net because dog. Tina, damage and destruction. She see whether we can see her yet or not. Phone's still not taking the click. No, maybe soon. It is in the phone is in the shade as well now, so that it should cool down soon. But yeah, that was the night. Just on the bed again. There's no getting into bed in May, June, July, August, probably September. 5 or 6 months of the year in Spain, I just lie on top of the bed. Also, though, I am a tramp living in a field. Tramp, hobo, homeless, whatever word you want to use. She's adorable, I know, but when people come through the field and she tries to attack them and there's a wire mesh in the way, the wire mesh is going to lose. It's Tina. Hey, babe. I'm going to try this again. Oh, I lost it. I'm going to try again because the people need to see the Tina girl. No, it's just not. Let me see if pressing elsewhere helps. Sometimes it does. Oh, no. It's not working, folks. Here's another thing with my phone, actually. This is a growing worry, just as a little aside. It's not just the screen not responding half the time now. The on-off button isn't working half the time. If the phone's on and the screen stops working, the only way for me to get things working again is off and on. Not the phone fully off, not a full reboot, just a screen off, screen on, and passwords, passcodes, pins, whatever they're called. But even pressing the off button at the minute isn't doing its thing. I press the off button and it's 2 or 3 times just to get the screen to go dark, and then it's another 2 or 3 times to get the phone to come back on, and then it's 50-50 whether entering my pin will work or not. It's all getting a little bit hairy, it's getting a little bit unpredictable. Okay, so that was Sunday night. Anyway, yeah, the doors were open, the fly sheets, the fly screens were fastened, and away we went. Monday morning, usual routine. I've told you the routine before. Opening these mosquito nets. You'd think it's a mesh. You'd think that the wind's going to blow right through, but it kind of doesn't. You do get some movement through, but it blocks about a half to 2/3 of the breeze. So in the morning, before it gets light, I'll open the door up fully and let the cool air from outside in and circulate properly, and I get the through draft going. But at this side, I keep it kind of partially closed because the sun's at this side. I need to keep the sun away for as much of the day as possible. Let a breeze in, but keep the sun out, and a little bit of a through draft going and air circulating. So we do all that. We do the dog walks. We do all the usual things. I get the solar panel. See, my solar panel has to be adjusted through the day. We start off first thing in the day with it flush to the sun. As the sun comes over the horizon, I have the solar panel facing it. Then later in the day, I have to move the panel up a bit and slope it back and lean it against the cool box. So it's giving shade to the cool box and power for powering the cool box. And then once the sun is directly overhead, I move the cool box open on top of I move the solar panel open on top of the cool box with a couple of pop bottles, soda bottles, filled with water on the lid of the solar panel as insulation. The heat, you don't want the heat from the solar panel getting to the cool box. So that's my usual morning routine. So Monday morning we got those usual routines. Cool box on, dog walk, all of that. And this is where I get the donation from Belinda, from Bella, Binny, the lady of a million names. So thank you for that. Thank you for that, Belinda. Much appreciated. Now Belinda has sent me money in the past and told me that the money was like specifically it was supposed to be, if at all possible. She did give me some latitude, but she said if at all possible you've got to go to Tjis and get fish and chips on a Friday. And I managed to not do that at the time. Things kept getting in the way, and then I didn't have enough money and things. So I'm going to try when I next manage to convert my PayPal Monopoly money into real coin of the realm. I'm going to try and use it this time, Belinda. I'm going to try and go to Tjis. I've had people bring me Tjis. Thank you, Anthony. Shout out to Anthony. But I'm actually going to try and go one time soon. Once I can get some cash, I'm going to try and go to Tjis for fish and chips. And who knows, I might even treat myself to a beer in a bar or restaurant. Because that's been a while. That's been a while. A couple of people have taken me out. I got to mention. I got to mention that the Scandinavian ladies, the ladies who bought me this phone, Anita and Tina, who have taken me out and got me an occasional beer at Magani's down the way here, about 500 metres that way, half a kilometre that way. But it's not a frequent occurrence. Oh, and Anthony, when he was last here, took me to the little kiosk here on the road, the little German bar that I'd never been to until recently. So yeah, it does happen occasionally. That was a can. It's a cold can of beer sat outside a kiosk, but same thing, same difference. Cheers, cheers, guys. This has got to go. I can't drink at the minute without having it dribbling down my chin and dropping off. I've been saying all week that I was going to do a video. I've got the clippers. My mate Karen, the hairdresser, she left me the clippers here because I've got the generator, the EcoFlow, the solar generator, solar power station. I keep hesitating. It's been a while, and I will get on with it. But anyway, so this was Monday. Other than Belinda, it was just a long, hot, boring day trying to keep out the heat here. Into Tuesday, folks. Tuesday. Another long, hot, boring day. If I tell you that the highlight of the day was going shopping at about 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, just to grab a couple of bits, and on the way, we're halfway to the supermarket, and I see a white plastic disc, a plastic garden furniture, garden table, and the 4 legs are all there, and it looks like it's all in good order. And for a minute I'm torn. Do I grab it now, turn around, come back to camp, and then have to walk all the way back shopping and go and do the whole thing again? Or do I go shopping, which is 5 minutes away? The shop's 5 minutes. I'm halfway there already. It's only 10 minutes away from here. I'm halfway there. I'm 5 minutes away from the shop. It takes me 5 minutes to do my shopping and another 5 minutes to get back to where. So will that table still be there in 15 minutes? Will it bollocks? And I know this. I know not to take this fucking gamble. After the police stole my green garden furniture, my green patio furniture, my green table and chairs last time, I should have grabbed this fucking table and, it was only the table and the legs, no chairs there, but those will come in time. I should have grabbed it while it was there. Instead, I go to the shop, I spend about €3.50, and I walk back. It's only 15 minutes later, table's gone. And I knew this. I teach people this. When Joby first arrived in this field and I was showing him, the ropes, I said, if you see it and you want it, grab it. Don't tell yourself I'll get it on the way back if it's still there. 9 times out of 10, it's not still there. The only time I can think of where I did that and it was still there afterwards was the television. Oh yeah, if you don't know, I'm a tramp living in a tent in a field with no electricity supply, but I got a television. And because I've got the solar panel and the EcoFlow solar generator, I can manufacture my own electricity. It's a generator without the diesel or petrol. But that's the only time I can think of where I saw something and thought, do I grab it now or do I grab it later? And it was still there on the way back from the shop, so we picked it up and carried it home. That's the only one. If you see it and you want it, grab it. Get it now, bring it back to camp, go do. But I half had in mind that Tina can't walk far at the minute. Her back legs are just not what they used to be. And again, after the police kicked her. Hey babe, let me see whether I can do this at last. Because you guys that are here now are probably not the guys that were here at the... Here we go. Tina girl, say hello. Stop scratching and say hello. Hey, say hello to the peoples. Yeah. See, the phone's cooled down a little bit and now responds to touch a little bit better. There she is. Agua, Tina. Agua para Tina. No? ¿Por qué no quieres agua? Why do you not want water? No, whatever. She doesn't want it. But there's my girl. You probably hear her often panting away in the background of my videos. Okay, so this was Tuesday. That was kind of, if you like, that was the highlight of my day. Going shopping, having a chance of a white plastic patio furniture, table, and then losing it. That's about the only thing of note for Tuesday, I think. Should have grabbed it. Oh, also Tuesday. This time last week, I said I might do an extra TrampCast on the Tuesday as part of my 1,000 subscriber celebration. But I just wasn't feeling it, guys. It just didn't. I just wasn't. And nobody, when I didn't go live, nobody asked why not. Tina girl, stop. Hey. Still scratching. Nobody asked, nobody was bothered. I don't think anybody noticed. So no harm done, I don't think. But I just wasn't feeling it. I think because I'd lost that table, I think it just took the wind out of my sails a little bit. Tina girl, you can't do that, darling. You're tied up. Hey. No. Trying to sit on the corner of the tent. Sit on the outside wall of the tent. She's already broken it in one place here. It's like on the inside she'll do the same, but she pushes out. She pushes out against the outer wall till it's, and then she sits on it. And everything it's a good job it's so springy with these. They're not fiberglass. What are they? I can't think. Carbon fiber. These carbon fiber poles. Can't keep up with the times, folks. I'm stuck in the 70s and 80s with my fiberglass poles. Like when I had a stunt kite that was fiberglass poles back 79 to 83. I went through a few of them. They'd land on the grass in front of the grass cutter at the campsite, and the guy driving the tractor didn't stop. He saw the damn thing. It was yellow and black stripes. You couldn't miss it. Called a sky tiger. Kind of a yellowy orange and black stripes. No way you didn't see it. And the cunt just ploughed through it and broken bits would get thrown up. Bastard. Okay, that was Tuesday. I didn't do the TrampCast special. Into Wednesday. Now I was late getting up and getting sorted here. I just had a slow start to the morning. Got up late, just even when I was awake, I didn't get going. I didn't do the things that I need to do in the morning. And this kind of cascaded. This cascaded through Wednesday. I'd had it in mind to make jagged potatoes in the slow cooker, using it just as an oven with silver foil, which I've done a few times now, and it always works well. But I have to get going. I have to get underway before 11 in the morning. So that I've got enough power. So the power that's already in the EcoFlow overnight, plus when it starts to come in, 9 o'clock onwards when we're getting real power. If we can get going early and get things hot, and then turn the power off, let the battery charge back up, and the oven, as it were, the slow cooker stays warm, and then once there's enough power, turn it back up high, and try and go that way. But I'd left it too late this day. I'd left it too late for that. So this is where I made the decision to cook a spag bol instead. And I did a video of it, and throughout the day, it took longer than it should have because I fell asleep in the afternoon. But so while I'm cooking it, I'm doing this in stages. You can see the video. It's going quite well. The video's quite popular at the minute. But this is where Jokka called by and brought ice for the cool box, 4 beers, and this is where he gave me the 20 euros in cash. Thank you, Jokka, and your wife, whose name I don't think I know. I don't think you've told me your wife's name. We'll have to sort that, my friend. But at a long hot afternoon, while the stuff's cooking outside, and I just fall asleep on the mattresses inside here, and I wake up about an hour and a half later. I've fallen asleep at the point where I should have been getting up after half an hour to do the next thing with the cooking. So from then on, everything's another hour late, all afternoon and evening. Watch the video. You can see it's dark by the time I'm finished. I'm behind with the cook. Just as I was finishing and I was about to kind of test the food and everything, Jokka turns up again and he brings another 2 beers, 1 each. And we sit outside here and have a chat and just have another beer each and you know, chew the cud, pass time. Thank you, Jokka. After he leaves, I take a quick walk on the cliff tops because dog walk, you know. And then we come back and I sample the food and I go into the, I take the thumbnail, you know, I take a shot for the thumbnail. Tina, will you stop? I take the thumbnail, I dish up the food, I go inside, I eat it, and as I'm filming those final bits, my final thoughts, how it was, what I thought about it, and the part where I put the bowl down and give Tina the last mouthful or so, it's dark and I've got to put lights on inside the tent, just so that you can see that it's me and that I'm there and talking. That's how late everything was running, guys. I started cooking at whatever time it was. 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, whatever time I started cooking, and it was dark by the time I was ready to eat. So I know it's a slow cooker, it's just not meant to be that slow a cooker, but managing my power to the cool box and to the slow cooker and keeping the battery charged and having enough power to get through the night with my various gadgets and lamps and things. It's a balancing act, guys, it's a balancing act. So yeah, that was Wednesday. Thursday morning, 4:30, and the dog's itching to get up and go out. She's just licking my face and nudging me. That means trouble. That means don't tell her to just go back in her corner and wait. Because if you do that, there's a high chance of accidents. Ask me how I know. 4:30. And this is all because at night, when I tell her to have a good drink at say 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, she won't. She won't drink the water. 4:30 she wants to get up. She wants to drink half a gallon of water and have a piss. So we get up and we do the things, we do all the ablutions, 4:30 in the morning. 7:30. She wants to get up again, and I'm like, no, get back in your fucking corner. Just shut up. Let me have a bloody rest. No, she's not having any of it. Up we get 7:30 for it's 7:30 and we're up for the second time already. Fortunately, we've got a long hot day ahead of us, but we've got a pot full of food. We've got a spaghetti bolognese or a pasta bolognese. Vegetarian bolognese, whatever you want to call it. We got a whole slow cooker full of this stuff. So we got a day of eating spag bol all day. And this is when I just watched YouTube all day and got into a real rabbit hole with YouTube creators. I watch a lot of YouTube, as you'll gather, but I've never bothered with like the big names, the Mr. Beast and Penguin Zero or Moist Critical, as he's also known. Asmongold's a recent conversion. That's something I picked up recently. And I think from watching him, I've then started watching some of these others, and now I'm into the like the drama channels. These guys are always having beef with each other, they're always falling out with each other over one thing or another, and they'll expose a scam. As if you followed the Mr. Beast thing this week, the scams and the law breaking and the illegal lotteries, and I've gone down a real rabbit hole of just following all this. Until recently, I would have called it crap, but I'm kind of hooked. I'm kind of hooked on some of the drama. If you see a channel called Kino Casino, Kino for the Kino Casino, hated them when I first saw them, and they've kind of grown on me, even though they're loud, obnoxious, rebellious. There's just something there. There's just something. I don't know. I'm kind of hooked. So that basically that was most of Thursday, and then I had a friend who brought his car around. I'm saving some of his tools and equipment here, and he's had a little bit of a nudge on the front bumper. It's kind of come loose, and he needed to tie a few bits together before he could go to the airport to pick someone up. So he came round late afternoon and you know, picked up his bits, and I helped him do a couple. Well, I didn't really help. I stood there and talked to him while he did repairs mainly. Held a couple of bits in place, but kept the dog out of the way too much. Okay. So that was Thursday, into Friday. Early hours of Friday, and I woke up quite early, like maybe 2 or 3 o'clock. And if you remember, I've got these videos from Wednesday, the cookery video, and also the cliff top when I did the dog walk. And I'd not let them go. I'd not edited them and finished them in time to let them go Thursday. So I let those go. I edited those, got them ready, and prepared them for release at Friday morning. The cookery one at 10 a.m. and the dog walk on the cliff top 11 a.m. And I was a little bit concerned, if you let a video go and it's doing well. Oh, let me put the sponge back on in case you're picking up pops and clinks. But if you've got one video doing well, you're not supposed to like let another video go out at the same time. So the law says, the internet law, L-O-R-E, not L-A-W. But so I was a little bit concerned about letting 2 videos out at once. Coffee this time, guys. Oh, my cold coffee's gone warm. Not just tepid, but warm. Oh, don't think I like that. Switch back to the beer for the next one. My beer's just as warm, almost the same heat. So yeah, you're not supposed to. Internet law says don't. If you've got a video that's doing okay, don't be letting another one out that gets in its way and takes attention away from it. But Muggins here did that, and it seemed to kind of take the wind out of the sails of the first video, the cookery video, which kind of sat there for a few days and did nothing, or did very little. It was modest. It wasn't bad. It was just, it started well and then kind of dropped off. So I've got these 2 videos going, and if you know anything about me, if you've been here for a while, when I've released a new video, I will tend to sit here and watch the graphs and monitor the statistics. If it's not working, I'll start tweaking titles and descriptions and keywords, dropping a new thumbnail, just make tweaks, see if I can find a combination that works better. Not too often. I'll always leave it the first 3 or 4 hours and then make a judgment call. Does it look like it's doing okay and might pick up, or is it doing diabolical? In which case, change it now. So that was the first part of Friday, releasing those videos and then watching them, and watching the stats and everything. Yeah, Friday, more of the same. The long. Oh, you see that? I glanced away for a second, and someone said something. Oh, the UK riots. Yeah, yeah. Fun and games, but not in a good way. I hope it's not too bad. I hope nobody here is nobody watching is in anywhere that's affected. But shall we do politics? Two-tier policing, guys. It can't carry on, can it? You can't have one rule for one group of people and a different rule for the others. One bunch can riot and the police are in normal uniform and run away. Another bunch of guys protest, not even rioting, just normal protesting, and the police are there in riot gear from the off. And then they start snatch squads on old grannies and old granddads. Yeah. And then everyone gets accused of being far right. Good stuff, Stephen. Glad you're okay. You're not too far away though. Where was it? Was it Sunderland the other day? I don't know whether it still is or not, but you're not too far away. I don't really do politics. I'm not really going to go down that route. But by the definitions of the BBC, I'm now far right. Despite from being Arthur Scargill country. That's where I was brought up until I was 15. Barnsley. I'm a Barnsley lad. Coal miners in the family. Granddads and uncles and things. My mum didn't take that route. But all the rest of the family were coal miners. If you know anything about Yorkshire, about Barnsley and coal miners, Arthur Scargill country, they're about as left as it gets. So that's how I was brought up, and yet now I support the NHS. I want a welfare state. Most of the policies that you would consider to be centre left, I'm there. But a lot of this immigration stuff and a lot of this trans rights stuff, the LGB stuff I'm with. It's the Tjis that I'm not so much with on that topic. I'll maybe start doing. I was thinking about starting maybe on Twitch or something, a second channel, just discussing more political stuff. Keep that away from here, maybe. With that said, because I did lose subscribers because of my opinions of the police not long ago. If you were here last week and saw that. If not, watch last week's episode. It wasn't a big part of it, but it got a mention. Where was I, guys? I was Friday, I was watching graphs. Okay, Friday night. If you know anything about me on Friday nights, Friday Night Tights on Nerdrotic channel. Again, I guess these guys would get me labelled far right by some people. But there I was watching that. I'm about an hour and a half in. This program goes on for about 3 hours, and now there's a bonus hour over on Rumble. And I'm talking with a friend, and I say, hey, I'm an hour and a half in and I haven't fallen asleep yet. It's looking good. It looks like I'm going to make it. So then I just added a supplementary comment of, so I'll obviously be asleep in half an hour. And she sent me a message half an hour later. Didn't answer. I was fast asleep. Fast asleep. Yeah, no good. I woke up about 3 o'clock and at 3 o'clock it was still 27 degrees inside the tent. That's with the doors open. 27 degrees at 3 o'clock in the morning, guys. What am I meant to do with that? This is getting in the way, isn't it? I'm trying to keep it so it's not in the way of the screen too much, but it's keeping the sun off the camera. phone, off the phone. I use those words interchangeably. So yeah, there I am saying I'm wide awake and it looks like I'm going to stay awake. I'm gone. And it's hot in the night. First thing Saturday morning, because I said I've got the doors open. The mesh is fastened, but it's got holes in it. But I'm in bed and I'm looking out and I see someone just walk past here. I'm like, whoa. People don't usually walk past me. People tend to stay, once they see the tent and in the field doesn't really go anywhere. There's no real reason to be walking through it. This guy walked through it and he's got one of those sleeping mats under his arm and he's got a rucksack and everything. And I'm thinking, this guy's looking for a campsite. And he walks through the field and I can see, and he looks under the tree where Joby used to have his tent. Joby was the English guy that arrived at the beginning of February, spent 3 months here. He moved to the other side of Torrevieja and now he's had a falling out with the guy he was staying with there and he's now moved on. He's moving further down south. But this guy was looking, he hovered under the tree there where Joby used to be and then he moved off elsewhere. And I'm not sure if he went or if he's in these trees. There are little camps and little spots within these trees and behind these trees over here. There might be someone else in the field here with me right now. I'm not 100% sure. It's a little bit worrying because one of the reasons people give for why I should move on is because I'll become like an attraction. I'll attract a tent city. Hello, Gary. Very well. Thank you. Thank you very much. New subscribers. How did you find me? How did you get here? Was it just a YouTube recommendation? Or was it through Tjis's link with Very Nearly Interesting? Some other way. Let me know. That beer's warmer than the coffee. So yeah, I got someone walking around. There might be someone else in this field now. And a little bit later, I took Tina for a walk on the cliff tops and we walked. I was talking to a couple of blokes who were looking. They'd arrived, they'd got some oars with them and I assumed they'd got an inflatable. Okay. The guy's delivering food. I'm not sure who that would be. But I was talking to these guys who had gone to the end of this road here and pulled left and were looking for a way down the cliffs, and the only way down really is a bit precarious and then down some steps. But they ended up going over the other side and going down to the little bay here on the other side. And I kind of followed along behind them a little bit and I took a couple of shots. There wasn't enough of a story to do a video of it, so I've just got these clips. Maybe I'll get to use them later for something, B-roll footage or something, just background scenery. But suddenly I became aware, I pulled my phone out to do another video, and I became aware that I'm in the middle of a call. And I'm, hey V, hello. I notice I'm in the middle of a call. Somehow I've pocket dialed while inside, and this is interesting because I've dialed a guy who came to the camp here a couple of times. Last time he was over, and he called me back later in the day, and he wasn't supposed to be coming back until I think he said September or October. But he's actually coming out this next week. So I've pocket dialed a guy who's, coincidentally, who's coming out this week. And he says, oh, I'll stop by and bring some beers. If you've watched me for any length of time, guys, come on. They don't call us wine. Maybe I should add that. Whoa, are we back? Are we back? Oh, thank you, Gary. Hopefully we're back. I just had a message that we lost connection there. What I was just saying though, I'd accidentally pocket dialed a guy who's coming out this week, and he's going to come around and have a beer. And I was just joking about adding wino to my introductory list of synonyms for a tramp, a hobo, a vagrant, indigent, a bum, a wino. I had a falling out with somebody once early on in these live streams because they started asking like impertinent questions. How much do you drink in a typical week? And at that time, a typical week, I was drinking nothing in a typical week. In a good week, maybe I'd buy a box of wine, a 1 litre box. Since then, things have kind of improved for me a little bit. Anita, there's Anita, guys. That's one of the ladies that helped me get the phone and therefore YouTube and set me on the path back to the real world. Everybody say thank you to Anita for me. Thank you, Anita. Love you. Be good to see you. Did you say September? First half, second half? When in September? You don't have to say that in public. You can do that. We can do that privately in a separate chat if you want. See you in a few weeks. Hello, Dawn. Where am I, guys? Where am I? I'm losing my track. So it's Saturday. I've done a pocket dial. I've done a pocket dial. The guy's coming out this week. Oh, okay. So in the morning, I just said about how in the morning I've had somebody walk through the field, and that's rare. Unless, I mean, obviously sometimes people walk down the field to come to me. If someone's bringing me some food or some water or something, they'll walk into the field, but that's because they're coming to me. But Saturday morning, I had this guy walk through with his bedroll and his backpack, camping gear, and then Saturday evening, just as it's kind of on the brink of getting dark, so I've moved my solar panel from, it gets in the shadow of the tent here. I have to move it over there and face the opposite direction for the evening sun. So I've moved the solar panel, I've moved my cool box, and I've put my solar generator, my EcoFlow, I've moved it out of the tent and kind of 10 meters over, so it's basically outside. And I can hear voices coming down, and I thought at first they were coming down this little side road, but they sounded like they were further over. And I'm getting a bit worried as to like who is it? What's going on? And then Tina launches out of her corner and through the door. And I have to grab the leads. I've got 3 leads daisy chained together, creating like a long rope. Because when the police came, my long dog lead, my 15-meter dog lead went missing. Thank you, police. They're from the government, they're here to help. But I've got these 3 leads daisy chained, so I managed to grab one before the dog runs out to eat these people because she's getting really protective. And when I get to the door, I see it's nothing to worry about. It's a young couple pushing a pushchair, a stroller, you would say in America, I believe. Baby or toddler in a stroller, and they're trying to just push their way down this path that isn't really a path. It's a dry riverbed from when it floods. But they get near us, the dog barks, they stop in their tracks, and I move things out of their way and tell them, yeah, no, I'm holding her back, you're fine, come on through. But they turn around and go back. But it's just strange, I get 2 in one day. Two separate kind of groups of people, or 2 separate batches of people trying to cut through the field that goes nowhere, coming right past my tent. Don't know, you go months without something like that, then you get 2 at once. It's just a little bit like when the police come around, isn't it? Okay. Saturday evening. There's still no Big Clive live. I like to watch Big Clive. He does a live show on a Saturday, but he's working on the Edinburgh tattoo at the minute. He's an electrician on the lights. He's more than just an electrician, but I guess electrical engineer is probably a better term. But there's no Big Clive. So it's over to Scruff Dog's channel. Scruff Dog was here earlier. I don't know if he still is. But I was over to Scruff's and I watched, I think I got through the first hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I got to just after the cats and music, however you word that, with Rob. But then I was, if I wasn't actually asleep, I was kind of close to it. I turned the phone off, I think, and rolled over to go to sleep. Mainly, yeah, I think I said in the stream, I don't know if you're still here, Scruff, I couldn't type properly. My phone, because of the heat, like I said, it's midnight some nights before it gets below 30 in there. Oh, my ear's popping. As you've seen when I tried to turn the camera onto the dog, the phone isn't taking my touch all the time, and sometimes it's taking it and I start typing, I get halfway through a word and it just cuts out. I have to turn the screen off, turn the screen on, type my PIN. If it's accepting the touch, I can type my PIN. If it's not accepting touch, screen off, screen on. So I wasn't that interactive. Yeah, it can be difficult if you get stuck. People don't believe it doesn't take much for you to get in one of these kind of situations. Was it Gary? Let me just bring that back. Tina girl, come back. Yeah, it was Gary. Tina, come back. You're going to cause chaos. It only takes one or two kind of mini disasters. Your bank pulls the plug on your card, you fall out with your family over something, or somebody starts a rumour, or you know, you're in a country you can't get hold of people because something's wrong with your phone, or it doesn't take much. I got a legal thing at the heart of mine, but then I had my banks say that I'm not me and I can't have my money. And then people started with rumours, and so your friend network, your support network disappears because of the rumours that go around that you're a liar and it's all bullshit and you're a con man. It only takes 2 or 3 things and suddenly you're isolated, you're alone, and you haven't got access to resources. I tell people it could happen to anybody, and they, oh no, I've got family, I've got friends, I've got this, I've got money in the bank. I had money in 2 bank accounts, but COVID happened and I couldn't get cards for either account for a while. Then I got behind with the payment on one, and I got access to one account and used that one exclusively. That one ran out and I still got no access to the other, and there, gone, bang. Everything snowballs from there. Suddenly you're behind with your rent and your landlord kicks you out illegally. You stay with a friend, but you outstay your welcome. Gone. It can happen, folks. It can happen. It could happen to you. It could happen to most people anyway. Just 2 or 3 often silly little things, but they can cascade and coincide. Okay, Saturday night. No Big Clive, but watching Scruff Dog. My phone's been a nuisance, and it's still been a nuisance. The on-off button isn't working right, the screen isn't reacting right. It's mainly just the heat. In another month, if it survives the next month, it'll survive another year, maybe, hopefully. If it doesn't, I'm knackered, folks. If I disappear from YouTube altogether, chances are it's because no phone. It could be no money to pay the, because I paid that this morning. Pay Libera, pay the phone company, the monthly renewal. That's one way that could take me offline, but the phone not working could take me off entirely. I got a tablet, but without the phone being the connection, I'd be dead in the water. Tina girl. Tina, stop. Hey, come on. Stop scratching that ear. I'll have a dig around in it later for you. No, you can't go any... You can't... Oh, dog! Get back! Oi! Tina girl. No, you're not sitting on the tent. No. Come here. Now. Back. Good girl. Sorry, folks. I hope I didn't hurt anybody's ears. If you're wearing headphones, I apologise. I just couldn't let the dog sit on the tent again. That way lies disaster. Okay, as I said, Scruff Dog fell asleep early. Woke up early. 01:45. And that was me. Oh, Tina girl, I'm going to get angry. Get back. Don't make me angry. I don't like me when I'm angry. Where are we? Woke up 01:45, 1:45 in the morning, and I'm waking up, and that was me for the night until I tried to grab another hour, 6 or 7 in the morning somewhere, but okay. First thing this morning, just discussed it, the phone renewal. I had to put some money through from my paying my phone is about the only use I've got for the PayPal directly without changing it into currency first. But it costs me extra. It's $15 a month for the package that I need because I'm a YouTuber and I'm uploading these videos and downloading videos and editing videos and all of that. So I need €15 a month, and the way it works, I have to go through a third-party company because Labara used to take PayPal directly and now don't. Now I have to go through a third party. The third party had charges. PayPal had charges. The only way to make it viable is to pay 2 months at once. So it ends up costing me about €36 to pay 2 lots of 15 a month. It's expensive being poor, guys. If I'm doing this in cash, I'd walk down to a shop there, pay the money, and it would be €15 for €15 credit. I'm getting €30 credit and it's costing me 36. There's a 20% hike, 20% fee in essence for doing it the way I'm doing it. And then after I've paid it, they have the goal to send me the usual text message telling me how many gigabytes I've got left, and not to worry because unused gigabytes roll over. Tell me if you've heard this one before. They don't. The way it works is they sell me 100 gigabytes, but when they do it, they break it into 2 halves. I'm purchasing 50 gigabytes and they're gifting me 50 gigabytes. And any unused of the 50 that I'm paying for, not the gifted, those disappear if they're unused, but of the 50 gigabytes can roll over, no more. So I get this lie every month. Hey, you've got 80, but don't worry, they roll over. And then only 50 roll over. It's sickening. It's a lie. It's just an outright lie. But on page 23 of their terms and conditions, there'll be some legalese to explain it. But it still feels wrong. Why do my gigabytes expire at all? It's a prepay thing. It's pay as you go rather than a contract. So when I've purchased a number of gigabytes, those are my fucking gigabytes. Keep your hands off. Why do they expire after 28 days? And why 28 days and not 31 anyway? But they shouldn't expire at all. They're prepaid. If you're buying a batch of something, if I go to the supermarket and buy 10 tins of baked beans, they don't expire after 28 days and disappear entirely. Tins of food don't expire, by the way. Never, ever. Don't believe sell-by dates and other stock control dates on tins. We'll get back to my bacon. Do you remember when I did the 9-month-old bacon and cooked that? My bacon now must be about 15 months old. I'm going to cook that some point soon. just to prove the point that bacon doesn't go off either. The whole point of bacon is it's a preserve. Anyway, back to Sunday morning. So I've paid this Labara stuff. I've done my phone thing. I've been ripped off, you know, and then they're laughing in my face about how many gigabytes roll over. But I do my usual morning routine, and I check my YouTube stats, and I notice that my video's starting to run a little bit. A video from 2 or 3 days ago, from the Friday I think I released it, the cookery video, the spaghetti bolognese, suddenly starts to get 10 views an hour on its own, 15 views an hour, 30 views an hour. And not only that, it's bringing other videos with it. The people who are being promoted that video and who watch that are then being offered another video of mine afterwards, other videos. So the channel as a whole is suddenly being promoted more, suddenly getting eyes on. It gets to the point where we're getting 50 views an hour, which for my little channel is nice when it happens. Happens occasionally, but in short runs. Once or twice it's happened for a couple of days at a time. Thousands of hits and a whole batch of new subscribers. But as often happens after you get a sudden influx of new subscribers, when it stabilizes and then you release another a new video, they suddenly realize that, oh, maybe it's not a cookery channel, this is a channel about a tramp in a field. Suddenly you get a few unsubscribes. And this is where I was earlier today. I've missed one thing. So as we're hitting 50 views per hour, suddenly I get a PayPal donation from Jody M. So thank you, Jody. I said thank you at the beginning, but it fits into the routine now. Presumably one of the newbies that's come by, either from Tjis or maybe from today's little run of new viewers. This is what you find with YouTube. I can spend a month and my videos only go out to those people that are already subscribed, and you get very few new subscribers. But if you hit a run where your videos are being shown to new people, about 1 in 100 of the new people will subscribe. And so if you can get shown to 500, 600, 1,000, 2,000, suddenly it's a whole influx of new subscribers. But when things stabilise, and maybe they've come in on a cookery video, like I said, and not realised it's a tramp cooking, or maybe they've come in for a tramp and then they're not interested in a cookery video and they unsubscribe. There's always a little bit of fluctuation in the numbers. So that's why today, when I hit 1,050 subscribers and I took the little image, I didn't publish it until we hit 1,051. It's a good job, because immediately that I published the message, hey, whoa, 1,050. Immediately I published that, somebody unsubscribed, taking us down to 1,050 because we'd been on 1,051. So it was a good job that I waited. Because it's always embarrassing if you publish, hey, we've hit a new target, a new limit, and then by the time people look, they say, no, you haven't. You're not on 1,050. You're on 1,049. You liar. I've had these things happen, as I said last week. After this, folks, that was basically the rest of the day was just preparing these notes. It takes me a while. There's quite a bit of prep involved, you'd be surprised. And sitting inside a tent with my arms all, well, with me all sweaty and my arms all sweaty, trying to write on the paper without smearing and smudging it all, trying to wipe with a towel or a cloth periodically, and not just my forehead but my forearms, so that I'm not smudging the page. It's all a touch tricky. Now, that brings us up to date. That was the week that was. That was a week in the life of a tramp, an Englishman stranded in Torrevieja in Spain. Now, upcoming. Not so much this next week specifically, but just after. I think I mentioned it earlier. On the 14th, will mark 2 years of being homeless. 4 days earlier, which will be within this next week, I think it'll be the Saturday, will mark 22 months, so 2 years minus 2 months in this field, because I spent almost 4 days shy, but I spent 2 months living in a park just up the way here when I was first homeless. I didn't realise it, but it was killing me. I lost so much weight in that first 2 months. It's kind of a good job I got moved on in the end, although I resented it and hated it at the time. But I've got these two milestones, 22 months in this field, and then the big one, that was the 2 years homeless, just a few days later. I just spent some time today clearing space on my phone. I managed to find another pen drive that I could download some of the files to, clearing up about 10 gig, which might allow me to do like a compilation video of just a few 10-second clips, or maybe a minute from various kind of milestone videos, from my first couple of videos from TrampCast 1, maybe from some of the police interactions, maybe the one where the police declared, where the Guardia Civil told the whole world that Spain's not a democracy. That's a good one. When they unpulled all the tent pegs from my tent and started shaking it while I was inside. Ah, childish bastards. Pardon my Anglo-Saxon. Tina, I am going to get angry if you keep doing that, darling. So yeah, I think I've got enough disk space free at the minute and enough gigabytes free. Maybe if I get on with that today, I can burn some of these 30 excess gigabytes that won't roll over. Maybe I can get some of those used downloading. I've only got about 10 gig free space, but download some of the appropriate videos and start making a compilation video. I've got a week to 10 days to prepare. We'll see how that goes. Okay, folks, unless anybody's got any questions, I thank you for your time. I thank you for your help. I thank you for your generosity. Those of you that have donated, there is a PayPal donation link in the description. If you know, too many people don't know how to use the description. If you click next to the title of the video, it says more. You click that and it expands a little bit and it shows a snippet of text. Then you need to click the word more again. And depending on what type of machine you're on, where you might have to expand again. But somewhere in that blurb, I describe what this particular video is, and then there's some certain fixed text about subscribing and sharing, and but there's a PayPal donation link. Then there's some links to some friends' sites, people who've helped me. I want to say this actually, I should have said this earlier. Belinda, my friend Belinda, she has an eBay store where she sells dresses and handbags and ladies' accoutrements. It's not a topic I know much about, folks. I was about to say I've never wore a dress, but that's not true. There are a couple of occasions. But it involved alcohol and bets and sponsorship, and there was the time in fishnet stockings and suspenders and miniskirts around town on a pub crawl. But I won't tell anybody if you don't. I'm not an expert on ladies' wear, but my friend Belinda, who's sent me money a few times, she has an eBay store. Link in the description, and after we're finished, I may put it in a pinned comment as well, along with a PayPal link. Bit of self-promotion as well there. Okay, folks, thank you very much for your time. We're coming up on 1 hour 45. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to do it in the traditional way if I can, without dropping the brolly. Okay, folks. From Tina and from me, Delta Mike, out. Excuse thumbs. Oh, it's not taking the click. The X isn't taking the click. You bastard. Okay.